Hello students, today I'll be discussing with you descriptive paragraph which has been added in the revised syllabus of class 9 for the session of 2020 and 2021. Now what is a descriptive writing? Descriptive paragraph or descriptive writing refers to describing a person, place, event or a thing. Now here, according to the revised syllabus, we would focus on descriptive writing based on a person, because this has been added and you will not be asked to describe a place or an event. Descriptive writing based on a person has been added in the revised syllabus of 2020-21 according to CBSE, and it is going to be for 5 marks. Now what is the format of descriptive writing? As such, there is no hard and fast format, but the main thing is that you have to write the topic or the title on the top, and then you will begin with a main introductory sentence or an interesting opening sentence. Basically, descriptive paragraph means one paragraph only. You don't have to write 2-3 paragraphs. It is not an article, not a story writing thing. Here you have to write one paragraph of which the introductory line or the opening sentence has to be very interesting so that it catches the interest of your examiner or the reader. Then after the first line you are going to write the details about the topic, and then the final closing sentence should be summing up. A basic glimpse about what you have written in one line. That would be your closing sentence. Now some tricks and tips, things that you have to keep in mind. First is, whenever you are writing the descriptive paragraph about a person, first mention the traits, that means the qualities and the personality of a person. You can begin with that, that would make it interesting rather than straight away writing the name of the person and the profession of the person. If you start with traits, that would make it a little interesting and grab the attention of the reader. Then these are all the things that you have to include in your paragraph. Okay, that is appearance, physical appearance of that person, what that person does, the profession, the person's name. In between, in the third or fourth line, you can introduce the person with his name, and then the habits and the role of that person in your life. This is very important. If you're writing a descriptive paragraph about your father or about the postman of your locality, for example, you do have to mention the role that the person plays in your life in 1 or 2 lines, because this is just a paragraph at the end of the day. And then any other important point that you feel should be included. If the person is alive, use simple present tense. And if you're writing about a person who is not alive, usually you will use past tense. And when you have to mention about the role of that person in your life, in that case you will use present tense, because role will still be there in your life, right? Now, things that you need to remember: create a picture in the mind of the reader if you have to write something. Because at the end of the day, when the reader or the examiner is reading your passage, he does not know that person you're writing about. So, with the help of your writing, a picture has to be created in the mind of the examiner so that he can imagine the person you are writing about. So, your writing has to be very innovative and creative. So, for example, say you have to write Mr. Vijay is fat. Rather than straight away writing Mr. Vijay is fat, you can say, it was amusing to see Mr. Vijay running after his son in the morning. His tummy was bulging out from under his t-shirt as he breathed heavily, as if he had run a marathon. So, with this paragraph, immediately I would come to know that the person is fat, because you have mentioned that the tummy was bulging. He was breathing heavily just by running after his son. So, that means that the person is fat. So, you have aroused certain senses in the examiner. Sense of sight, sense of hearing. Sense of sight has been awakened in the examiner with the help of your words: running, bulging tummy. I can easily imagine that the fat person is running and his tummy is bulging out. So a picture has been created. I can see that person in my mind. And then breathing heavily. When a person is breathing heavily, of course, that has awakened my sense of hearing. I can imagine in my ears, I can feel that the person is breathing heavily because the person is very fat. So all these senses can be awakened in the mind of the examiner if you use a little creative language and try to be a little innovative rather than writing a straight line that somebody is fat or somebody is tall or somebody is short. Try to create an image with the help of your words. Now, descriptive passage on a person you know. Now, there can be two descriptive passages. Either it can be a person about a person you know, for example, your father, mother, your neighbor, or it can be a person you don't know. Now, let's first try to write a descriptive paragraph on your father in 100 to 120 words. Now, let's follow the traits. Let's write a paragraph on your father following the tips and tricks I told you. Traits: loving, polite, caring, these are the qualities. Appearance: middle-aged, tracksuit, spectacles, sneakers. Profession: doctor. Name: Ravi Talwar. Habits: reads before sleeping, prays before breakfast. Role in your life: support system. So these are the basic things, and you can always write these basic things with a pencil at the side of your paper, just as rough work. And once all these things have been included in your passage, then you can erase them if you want. Because if you write quickly with a pencil, you will not forget things. And this is a practical usage of time while you are writing passages or you're writing stories. Quickly, whatever points come to your mind, write them with a pencil at the side, so that later on those points can be incorporated in your actual and the final piece of writing. My dear father, this is the topic. As everyone likes to believe that their father is different, so do I. This conviction is not just because of the love I have for him, but also because of his personality. You would always find him in his tracksuit and sneakers when he's not working. And those square-shaped spectacles make him look super adorable. The nameplate in his clinic reads Dr. Ravi Talwar, and I fondly call him Pa. My father owns a business and is quite disciplined in all aspects of life. Every morning while I am still in bed, he is already out for his walk, which he never misses no matter what. Most importantly, he has a jovial nature and always makes my mother laugh with his silly antics even after 27 years of marriage. I completely adore the silly side of him when he is with his loved ones. He tries his best to fulfill all our wishes but also maintains the strictness when the need arises. So I've included the physical traits, I have included his personality, his likes and dislikes, his habits, his role in my life. In the end, I have mentioned his role. He tries his best to fulfill all our wishes but also maintains the strictness when the need arises. So this is how you have to write a passage. You have to create an image of a person in the mind of the examiner. Now moving on to descriptive passage on a person you don't know. Write a descriptive paragraph on the Indian scientist Sir C.V. Raman in 100 to 150 words on the basis of inputs given below. Now usually when you would be asked to write a descriptive paragraph on a person you don't know, you will be given inputs or hints, which you will have to incorporate in your passage. So my topic is C.V. Raman. Sir C.V. Raman was born on 7th November 1888 in the former Madras province of India. Was an Indian physician. He performed groundbreaking work in the field of light scattering. He discovered that when light traverses a transparent material, some of the deflected light changes wavelength. This phenomenon of Raman effect earned him the 1930 Nobel Prize of Physics. Raman was honored with a large number of honorary doctorates and memberships of scientific societies. He was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society earlier in his career in 1924 and knighted in 1929. In 1954, India honored him with his highest civilian award, the Bharat Ratna. National Science Day is celebrated on 28th February of every year to commemorate the discovery of Raman effect in 1928. Raman breathed his last on 21 November 1970. So I have used all the points, the inputs that the examiner has given me, plus I have added some more things that I knew about the person. Usually inputs would be given and the person that you are asked to write about is not a person you have no clue about. You would know that person one way or the other because that person would be a famous personality. So make sure you incorporate all the points given in the hints along with what you want to write. Some additional information has to be mentioned by you as well in the passage. Now, I hope you've understood what descriptive writing is. In ninth standard, we are only going to focus on descriptive writing on a person, and you might also be asked to write descriptive writing based on some inputs regarding a diary entry. Diary entry is a personal page of your diary. So you would be given about certain inputs or hints about diary of somebody's page, and you would have to use those points to write or create a diary entry in one paragraph. Go through this video once again and you'd be able to understand, because it's not a very complicated thing, but remember, you have to be innovative, you have to be creative. Thank you everyone.